street, which leads to my left down to the second bridge from the red one. And as we continue our sweep back up in the opposite direction we came earlier. But you can imagine, I've seen it in Chinatowns that are very old and still are very old. People getting up, starting to do their tasks, not looking like these folks, not as tourists, because they weren't any. Just people beginning to go about their day. This probably gives us an idea of little awnings that were used in those days also. This will be more interesting for me after the tourists have gone and it settles down into a more normal pace. It's welcoming for a restaurant. A couple of big these balls, I think they're made of cedar fronds, kind of like the thatched roofs, but symbolizing the sake dealers. I don't know what this shop is, but a cute little display of critters. Whether this is a restaurant or those are the kind of items they sell, I don't really know. This has very much the feel I was looking for, even though I know it's modern. I mean, just the decorations outside would be ripped off in the United States for other people's gardens. Not clear how old this one is, but it's thought that it could be anywhere from 1764 to 1771. And it was renamed again in 1830 to 1843. Place is coming alive. We're back up to the red bridge, and now we'll turn right and go alongside the river. Interesting how this little detail on the wall looks like wormwood rotted strips, but it may just be that they've knocked out certain portions of it after it dried, but a very nice effect. This is completely nondescript, an architectural wasteland. That side not much better. It's too bad that these assets have not been used. The people living over there enjoy what they have. These trees are in blossom, but I don't know if they're cherry trees or not. You'd wonder that they don't have one heck of a cherry crop, and I've never heard that. Here's a pretty little old shrine. And apparently that metal thing there is the banger. And the reason you clap your hands or you bang or you bang the bell is threefold. One, to alert the gods that you're there. Number two, to show enthusiasm for the gods. I can't remember number three. Passing the second bridge down from we passed a few moments ago looking this way, rather nondescript. And now we'll continue our last little jaunt down through this area, this last street, near the river, but not on the river as we were just walking. There are floral motif manhole cover. These are combination businesses and residences, some of them anyway, but still not interesting like the other streets. Now down at the green bridge, the third one down, and we'll now be going perpendicular to the routes we've been taking before. We walked up This purposely bent signpost, and they're all over this area, designed to firmly embed the post, but at the same time move most of it off to the side out of the way. It's typical Japanese. Often I've seen it almost every level, state level as well as in the home and the small business, that practicality is overridden by the finesse of design, the finesse of detail. In America and perhaps Europe, we would use straight poles for absolutely everything, since it'd be less expensive than having two kinds. Here again, it looks like someone has taped up a little child's hat that fell off that they found. And it's free. That's seldom seen. These look like a nice display of old items. How old they are, I don't know. But you would think that this area, over the course of time, would have collected such items. You notice this item, it's brass on top of that wood portion, but I've seen something of this kind of design before, and my belief is that it's used somehow to create furrows in the water for rice planting. Now, whether this tool here really did sit in that slot or not, I don't know. But that's an interesting piece of, even though it's made out of wood, we'll call hardwood. Look how the corners are supported by that brass as well as that handle, suggesting it may work in the water. Looks like pair of grinding stones. And these pestle mortars. These may have been parts of a water well, although it looks like it's relatively modern. Large jar. Oh, look at him here, little fish. How cool is that? The white versions of these are probably the koi that we find in the rivers. There's a frog or two. And a couple more pairs of grinding stones. Wouldn't that be cool in your garden? Covered with moss. Oh, incense pots. The man has some plants, look like little mini bonsais, in a web cage, evidencing that some Japanese can be tempted. I saw these last night. We can't see them very well now, but absolutely phantasmagoric sculptures. Look at that, made out of tools and springs and stuff like that. But they're even more exciting monsters